I'm Brenda Page, Dr. Brenda Page here on campus. I teach out of the Secondary Education and Foundations Department here at Eastern Illinois University. I know during the Depression, FDR was very concerned about people not having jobs, and so parents were taking the jobs that typically younger children had been doing because there weren't any standards set. Young children were many times considered important in a family so they could work and help their family and get more money. They were considered an asset in that way. It wasn't so much concern about just having children. It was, we need children to help us on the farm, to help us raise our family. So all those extra hands were needed, and that was how children were looked at much of the time. In addition to loving them as a family member, it was, here's another extra hand. So it was, children were doing lots of different things on farms and in factories too. In the bigger cities, the factories would hire young children at a very small wage and would get a lot of the factory work done. So that was starting to change around 1938 because of the concern of the Depression and not people having enough jobs. And so FDR really got enacted the Fair Labor Standards Act, and that officially became effect in 1938. There were many attempts before then, but 1938 really kind of set the tone of, this is going to change now. We need to make sure our children are safe and that they're getting an education, and education was very important. They were starting to realize in society, the more education you got, the better your job and the better your pay was going to be. And when children started working at a very young age, it was more difficult for them to get into that educational track. I think maybe families were looking around and seeing people doing different jobs, and it became apparent that the better jobs that paid better, that were safer, people that had those jobs were people that had a little bit more education than past high school, maybe. I mean, high school used to be like the ultimate goal, is you needed to get a high school graduation. You need, graduate from high school, and then the world was kind of open up to you. As the technology became more available too, there were the need for more types of jobs, and you needed some education to get those types of jobs. So it was moving from more like an agrarian society where you learn from family the skills you needed as an adult to like, well, there's all these other types of jobs in the world to keep us going here in the United States.